rental property tax deductions, what you can deduct now versus depreciate over time. Hey everybody, it's Jonathan Sempsrott here with Keyrenter Property Management, located here in beautiful Austin, Texas. Hope you're all doing great today. This topic is one that we feel like is perhaps one of the most powerful and important reasons for owning a rental property, period, anywhere in the country. However, it's one that, oddly enough, we hear many clients come to us and have really never stopped to consider this topic. It's not something top of mind as a big driver of why they've always wanted to own a rental home. And so we thought we'd unpack this a little bit here today, give you a couple things to think about, because again, it is a really big driver, hugely important factor to consider when you're looking at your overall upside potential with a rental property. I want to first say up right here at the front that I am not a CPA. I'm not a licensed accountant. So I just want to give that disclaimer here that everything we're about to talk about is my personal opinion. It's based on my years of experience, but in no way am I a CPA. I don't want to purport to be as such. So everything that we talk about here today, my encouragement for you is that you take this to your licensed CPA and make sure that it makes sense for you and your personal tax strategy. Hugely important. This idea of tax write-offs, or another word would be the deductions, again, they're a huge win for rental real estate. If you're somebody that has W-2 income as part of a traditional salary, having these deductions can really be powerful in reducing your overall tax burden. It's a really big mover. There are a basket of things that can be deducted immediately. And there's another category that's a little bit more long-term. I'm going to unpack these and give you a couple examples here. Things that you can absolutely deduct now would be things like all maintenance costs. If the home needs to be repaired, upgraded, it needs a new feature put in, you can take those dollars that you're spending on those items and you can deduct them against your traditional income. So it's a huge win for you. This is something that's commonly done. It's obviously IRS approved. It's very common in the industry and it is a legal strategy. So we encourage you to take advantage of it. So maintenance costs would be one. The other would be even property management costs. Let's say you're hiring a professional to manage your home, to lease it, to do tenant placement work. All of those costs are immediately deductible. So you can write those off against your income. Anything related to that, right? Anything related to the management of the property, whether you're doing it yourself or whether you are hiring a professional, those are immediate costs that you can deduct. Property taxes. Unfortunately, most of us pay property taxes across the United States, no matter where you're located. Certainly we do here in Texas. So those are expenses that you can immediately deduct from your rental income. Property insurance. This would be another one that's very common. Hopefully everyone has property insurance. And so that is a cost as well that you can deduct immediately from your income. Very powerful. So those are things that you can deduct immediately with the advice, of course, of your CPA. There's a secondary basket of things that are more long-term in nature, and this is perhaps even the most powerful category of deductions that, again, a little bit more complicated, and most people are not thinking about this, or many of them are not thinking about this. And so if that's you and you haven't stopped to ponder this, please get with a professional and learn more about this, because it really can make the difference between turning even just a marginal investment into something that's really profitable for you and your strategy. The most common example of this long-term strategy would be something called depreciation. So it's taking the value of your property, purchase price plus any improvements that you've made to the home, and you are taking that amount, you're usually dividing that by 27.5 years. So again, there's a big calculation that goes into how this is applied, but essentially you take that value and you spread that out over 27.5 years, and you're able to take every year that chunk and apply it against your income and reduce your taxable income. And so it's not cash, it's leaving your account, let's say, but you are able to realize it in terms of a reduced tax burden. So hugely powerful strategy and a major win, frankly. Your accountant can do this for you. You don't need to do it yourself. They can determine your basis in the property, how much every year you're able to depreciate and write off. And that is a really big win. If you're not doing that today, if there's anything you take from this video, that'd be the number one thing, would be figuring out your depreciation on that property and using that in your overall tax strategy. There are a few ways that you can actually legally, and again with the blessing of the IRS, accelerate that depreciation. Some people say, well, 27 and a half years, that's a really long time. I don't really plan to own this property for that many years. Maybe I'm only going to own it for 5 or 10 years, let's say. And so there are some ways that you can accelerate that. I would determine it sort of as a front-loaded approach where you're using a bigger chunk of that depreciation and you're writing it off sooner. This is typically done via something called a cost segregation study or report, and you would hire a professional to do this. Certainly not something you should be doing on your own, but you can hire a professional that specializes in this study. It does cost some money, unfortunately, but typically, for most people, it's well worth that cost because it enables you to write off a larger chunk of that income or your property's value against your regular income. And so it's usually pretty valuable to do. So hopefully that is helpful. And again, please speak with your tax professional on that. If you need recommendations, either for a tax pro or for a cost segregation professional that does this for a living, let us know. We've used many over the years. Happy to refer you to some good folks that we like and who do a really great job at a reasonable cost. So hopefully you found this helpful. Again, a reasonably complex topic, and maybe you're thinking about these ideas for the first time. If so, we'd love to talk more with you. So please reach out to us if there's anything we can do to help you or answer questions. We'd always love to do so, specifically about the Austin area, which is where we're located. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to stay in touch with you guys over the long term. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.